Hi there. My name is Michelle Nicolo Prentice, and you're listening to Mama's Lullaby podcast, where we celebrate you and your journey to and through motherhood, the good, the hard, and the scary, giving you a place to be nurtured and mothered. You deserve it. Welcome. Hey guys, it's Michelle. Please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the latest podcasts. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mama's Lullaby podcast. You are in my kitchen again. I love you in here. I wish you could smell the smells because I love cooking, and we made some food today, but I digress. We are here again with BJ Jennings, Kevin Jennings, who is what I call my bonus son, and my sweet, dear, wonderful friend, Kirem Marnett. And today we're going to do something kind of cool because we've had a lot of people ask us about our relationship. Like, why do I call him my bonus son? Why do I call him my adopted son? Why do we have this relationship? Why? And so we're going to talk about that today.
I thought the question was, who the hell that guy? Who the hell is he? And why? I know Michelle for many years, and I heard this guy.
No, if they knew me, they know you.
Who the hell is this kid? No, honestly, Mom, I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and Kirem. I'm really excited. I feel really lucky. So before we even talk about that, we'll let you know what this podcast is all about. This podcast is here to do two things for you. One, to celebrate the journey of motherhood and make sure you recognize your journey is worth being celebrated. However it's occurred, it's unique, it's special, and it's worth being celebrated. And the second thing is we want to create a space for you to still feel mothered. You recognize that you have to give a lot to do what you do. And we wanted to create an environment, or Mom wanted to create an environment where you could receive a bit of what you give. And that's what this is all about. And so I guess in some ways there's the meta topic here is, what is it like when you're mothering kids that aren't yours? Yeah. I guess it's kind of the theme that naturally shows up here, because I am definitely the recipient of some of the same mothering I know she can give you. And so, yes, we'll talk about that story. So I guess, and we have Kirem here to kind of facilitate and hopefully even help us understand maybe some of the nuances of this relationship that maybe we've never understood. Because I'll admit there's a lot I don't understand. It feels special, but it also has become so much of just what is our normal that I would probably say I've never asked myself actually
me either.
Much about it. I just kind of just get to enjoy it and go about my day, which is actually rare for me. Because I'm an overthinker. You wouldn't. Well, okay, exactly. So for me to not spend time analyzing it, it's probably like, why have I never asked this question before?
And so in the moment.
Yeah, I'm just here. Yeah. So I'll just kind of share my experience in the story. Mom, you share yours, and then Kirem, we just love for you to just take it over.
I love it. Go for it.
All right, but before we do that, if you haven't, there's an episode on the podcast with Kirem as a guest. We're going to hear some of her story and that work. So just give an elevator pitch, Kirem, on who you are, what you do, and they can always go check out the episode to hear more about your journey.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Kirem Marnett, and I'm a healer and also an intuitive. And I bring through specific messages, soul messages, that help us in our relationships with self and others through the metaphor of symbolism that can be found on our planet, in our legends and stories. I've synthesized the system to be called soul signs. So what we're going to do today is, I'm just super honored to be back, by the way. I just love this circle and the energy of this beautiful podcast. And I've been an avid fan listening and watching y'all too, that I've wanted to know your story. So I'm really just thrilled to ask the questions, but we thought for fun, wouldn't it be neat to find out what their soul signs are for one another, and maybe why this magnetism has occurred to engage in really cool, pushing the envelope of our containers for loving and a mother and a son dynamic that is just kind of next level, like new earth, 4D, whatever you want to call it, that both these hearts beside me have opened so wide to embrace these roles, and that your own families are very open and aware. It's just fact. Like, Michelle is mom and bonus son is BJ. So it's like BJ's beautiful. Brother. Yeah. And it's just, I think for many of us who've watched the podcast are just so curious to understand this very evolved, beautiful dynamic. So I am just grateful and honored to serve as sort of the vessel to be the messenger and questioner about your story. And I think with that, we can get started.
Well, Mom, why don't you get started and kind of set us up for at least your, I would say, interpretation of our story, your version of our story.
Well, first time I met BJ, you were probably what, 16?
I was 17.
You were 17?
Mm-hmm.
But a junior in high school.
No, I was actually a senior.
You were?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, apparently I don't remember much of anything.
That's all
Okay,
right.
so our middle son, Matthew, who's a phenomenal musician, went to this school called School for the Arts, National School for the Arts here. And it's an art school, musicians and dancers and all that stuff. And he was in 9th grade, and he was just this profound musician. And so he got into this band called the Jazz Band Ensemble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was for seniors, I guess. It was for juniors and seniors.
Yeah, Pop Ensemble.
Pop Ensemble,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Anyway, so BJ and this other wonderful, incredible musician named Maestro, his name's not really Maestro, but he is Maestro out in the world. And anyway, so they were best friends, and they saw Maddie in the room, and they were thinking, who's this little kid? Like, I think he's in the wrong room. And so they said, hey, buddy, are you sure you're supposed to be in this class? And Matt said, this is Pop Ensemble, right? And he said, yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, I am. So then you guys heard him, and then you were like blown away. Then you invited him to be in your band, which was called the Off Notes.
The Offbeats.
Offbeats.
Well, we were probably off note. but that's okay.
But anyway, so they became a band. He became a band with them, and they would rehearse here at the house. And so the first time I met them, they would come to my house and rehearse. And I met BJ and Melvin Maestro and some other kids. Anyway, I don't know. You just started calling me Mom immediately.
Was it?
I feel like it was
I think it was.
I think by the end of that.
Yeah, I probably called. I mean, yeah, that sounds like me to call. I mean, I probably called you.
Mom Prentice,
Mrs. Prentice for maybe a week.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well,
but then I was like, well, I'm just going to call you. He calls you, I'm going to call you, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. And so he just became part of our family, and they were here twice a week for several years, right?
Several years.
And
Yeah.
I was always cooking something. So I was always, you guys hungry? You hungry? And so that's kind of how it started. And then we've just always stayed connected.
Yeah. Yeah. So our, because of the band, when we would have shows, all of our parents would show up. So all of our parents didn't get to know each other over those years, and everybody knew we were here rehearsing every Sunday and Thursday. And then when I went to college, I stayed local, so did Maestro, and so we kept being able to just come to your house. But I had a vehicle to drive myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here, honestly.
You must have been driven by your parents,
or
maybe.
my mom probably gave me her car when I was in high school.
Oh, did she?
Because
Okay.
I didn't.
I don't remember you even coming here.
I didn't get a car until my second semester of freshman year. So
Okay.
So the first, I don't know how I got here. Genuinely, I really don't. I'm like, I have no recollection of how I got to your house.
Okay. All right.
For 18 months.
Neither do I.
Yeah. So somehow I just got home.
Okay.
And so I think that was a big thing. And I think over the time I got to get to know your family, and your daughter and your youngest, and your amazing husband, and and I raided your fridge. I made it a tradition to always come and open your fridge, just look there, and I would stare. I didn't even get anything. I would barely get anything out. I just like I kind of liked the borderline irreverence, but like hominess of like walking in and seeing what's in Mom's fridge. And you are hungry? I'll make some things. Like, oh, well, that's way better than what I was gonna do by just searching your fridge. That's way better.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think just the opportunity to hang out, you all created an environment for all of us that felt like family really quick. And then you get to meet my brother, and then my friends will come over, and then my friends will come to our shows, and we hosted our bridal shower and our baby shower here at your house. And my mom came and my family came. It was no big deal. We just like, hey, who hosts this? Well, let's call Mama Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
My kids call you Mama Michelle.
Yeah.
My 9-year-old and my 4-year-old. We come here and hang out with you and Mark. And I think for me, I grew up in an environment where my mom always talked about the power of a village my whole life. Yeah. And she would talk about the importance of community. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Sheesh, that was
Do
fast.
you need a tissue?
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to cry yet. But we talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
And she would talk about how much she relied on it.
Yeah.
And she would celebrate it at home a lot. That was a recurring thing for her,
Yeah.
was to talk about her gratitude for the community. And so for me, I didn't feel any discomfort. But if anything, I already knew when you have people in your life who will operate like this, you're supposed to hold on to them. And I think that was, so for me, so once I went to college and I think, and because you're still part of our life through me and my wife getting together and then us getting married and then us having our first child back in 2018. So we had the shower in 2017. Here,
2017?
yeah, because Arden was born in 2018. And so for me, you just kept being, and so I don't know what we did, honestly, between that gap between me going to college and that gap, but we just maintained some kind of connection.
Remember you called me one time. I don't remember when it was. Johnny must have been old enough. You said, "Mom, I want to talk to you about what."
I do remember this.
What brought you? He called me up and he said, "Mom,
I do remember this.
I want to talk to you about what you want to do about your life now. Johnny's grown up. All the kids are grown up now. What do you want to do? I want to talk to you about that." And I'm like, "Really?" So we met at Frothy Monkey.
I remember this, and I remember what year it was.
What year was it?
Well, I had just moved to Atlanta.
Oh,
I moved to Atlanta,
right.
I moved to Atlanta in 2014, and I was there, and I don't know why. If I'm honest, Mom, looking back, I don't know what
sparked you to do that?
What said call her now of all times.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we had just moved to Atlanta in February of that year, and I think I called you that summer.
Yeah.
And I was doing freelance marketing, and I was building my own little team on the side outside of my job. And I was looking for people to work with, and you came to my mind. And I was like, what is Mom doing? I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. I know you had done Shishi. You had done other music projects.
Yeah, Shishi was a duo that my daughter and I did that Mark produced. It's a fabulous record.
It is. Yeah.
I thought we'd have a duo, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another day. We'll talk about that in our next.
That's another topic.
Part two.
Yeah. But I just knew that was something, and I knew Shishi and the other music projects you pursued were things you wanted to do, and I was like, man, I don't know what she's doing, but I'm gonna reach out and see how I can help. And then I just reached out.
And we talked for 4 hours.
Yeah.
We talked for 4. He laid out this idea of things I could do. It just blew my mind. First of all, I've always said this about you. I love his mind. It's so brilliant and so articulate. And he's always been that way. And I love his heart. And now I'm getting emotional. Oh God.
We got
I
one
don't
more
think
piece.
I didn't use mine yet.
Okay. Anyway, and so just the fact that he called me and asked, what are you doing, Mom? What do you want to do? And how can I help you? And at that time, I didn't really know, but you gave me all these ideas. And so that was 2014. Then in 2016 is when I got this idea. I was going to do a talk show.
That's right.
Ordinary, Extraordinary People. You remember that? I wanted to interview just friends of mine that people out there would not get a chance to maybe ever know. And just, there's so many amazing people out. A lot of you are amazing, but no one knows you yet or anything about you. So I wanted to bring that to people somehow. And anyway, I tried a lot of things. And I remember BJ would give me chores to do. All right, Mom, for every day, for 2 hours, whatever you're willing to do every day. And I was like, I never did any of it. And he's like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
You are not a long distance runner. You are a sprinter. Because I'm like, yes, if I have a project, I will get it done. But if it's going to be a long-term everyday thing, I'm probably not going to do it. It seems overwhelming to me, and he's been so patient with me on so many levels. So yeah, that started that. I really say you started me.
Well, I would say, don't get me beat up in your house.
No.
By the producer of this podcast.
No.
I would say this. I think in that time period, I was looking for work to do that I believed in. My job was fine, and I just reached out. I didn't know how much, in hindsight, your career had been something that you had to hold so loosely because of children. I didn't know, I didn't have kids at the time, so I didn't know much about the sacrifices you were making, or any parent makes, honestly, for children. But I knew you were talented. I knew you were gifted. I think that speaks for itself for anybody who's been around you for even 10 seconds. But I just wanted to help. And so I think for me, you really did allow me to use my abilities and gifts in ways I don't think I knew at the time what those gifts were. So in hindsight, I do see how a lot of our work together helped me to really pivotal part of my career to see what my real abilities were.
Well, I'm thrilled.
It's true. It's true.
Like you've just always been giving to me, and I'm just like,
yeah. At that time, people weren't really, no one was saying, hey, let's hire this, then 28-year-old to lead a campaign or strategy, because the work I did. So for context, professionally, I am a brand and marketing strategist. And right before I was working for Dave Ramsey, the radio show host in Nashville, leading up to my move to Atlanta. And then I started working with my mom and a couple other people in summer 2014. And then, if I remember correctly, maybe 5 months, 6 months later, I got hired to work on Tony Robbins.
that's right.
And I don't know, and I think it's like it was people giving me, really, I look at it now, an opportunity to be a leader of anything, or be an advisor, or be a consultant, that gave me the confidence to recognize that my abilities were found as much in my mind as they were in my hands.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought I had a brilliant mind. I think I just was a person who's willing to do hard work or do what someone tells them to do. So I think that's pretty transformative for me too, looking back on that. But I think that was definitely the day our relationship changed, though, was when we had that talk, because you were so vulnerable about what you were thinking, and I definitely think that was when our dynamic changed.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And since then it's just been, now it's just been the place I get to go. So I'm here a lot. I mean, when I'm here now is Matt, who's still one of my best friends. He's never here when I'm here. I'm just here.
No.
Yeah, it's like it's me. I'm here, or I'm bringing me and my kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just showing up. And you and Papa Mark have been big in just giving me a safe space, just to kind of grow and evolve into a dad and a husband. And so I think that's what changed. So I don't even know how some ways we felt so organic.
Yeah.
From that point forward.
Yeah.
That is really hard to pinpoint, but it's just been at that point like, hey, well, we're stuck with each other. Yeah.
No, we choose to be stuck. I think
together.
Yeah, I choose it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, your story is so beautiful, and the way you both tell it, it's just moving, because it's so deep, and there's just ways that you sort of non-verbally, kind of made this heart level commitment to one another and helped each other. So I wanted to ask a question for each of you to answer, which was, when, for example, when you, BJ, asked Michelle about what she wanted, what did that feel like for you?
Wow, it was just like sort of out of the blue, out of nowhere. Like, first of all, my husband's a Grammy Award winning producer, a session player. He was busy. He's working, right? Supporting us. And I was home with the kids, and I was doing what I love doing. I wanted to be home with my kids, and I got to do cool things in the interims of those times. And but no one really had ever pulled me aside and said, "What do you want to do?" But that by then, like when I was younger, people used to do that a lot. But and it was just sort of like, wow, the fact that he would take time and even be thinking about me in that way was so, it really was just so. It really hit me in a place of deep, like, love and gratitude, and it was really something, and it got my wheels turning, because I think inertia happens, right? You're just used to doing what you do, and so to make it change requires a lot of change here, and that's challenging sometimes.
It's so moving to me as a listener of your story together about how you really offered to hold space for a mother. And a mother is the space holder for so many. So to have that mirrored is just a profound,
that's a great way to put it,
gift. Like, it's very rare, especially from a young man. So I wanted to ask you, BJ, like, what motivated you to to ask that question at the moment in time, like, where did the spark of that, initiative kind of come from?
I can think about a few different things that were already kind of happening. Like I said, I was trying to find people to work with just to build my business and explore what it could look like. I knew I wanted to help people who didn't have either the access or capacity to do what I did well. A lot of my work is easy for it to go to the highest bidder.
Sure.
And then you recognize that people who are the highest bidders have what they need to do it on their own.
Yeah.
And there are people who have really great things inside them that they need someone to come alongside them. And I don't think I just knew Mom's good at, she's an amazing singer. She's an amazing artist. But she shouldn't have to become a really great marketer to do her job.
Yeah, to be her
To be her,
greatness.
so yeah. That was part of it. But then, because I love the person, when I called her, I wasn't trying to sell her on my services. I genuinely wanted to know what she wanted.
Yeah.
Because anyone who's ever been to one of her parties, which if you ever have an opportunity to do that, you're gonna benefit so much from it.
Yeah.
It's not like she's hiding her talents. It's not like people don't know. It's not like people don't appreciate her gift. So she's been pretty generous with her gift for a long time with a lot of people. And so to me, it felt like, well, what do you want to do with this gift? We see how you use for everybody else, whether we sing at a benefit concert or something like that, but like, what do you want to do with the gifts? I was genuinely curious. And maybe that's what she felt, because I was genuinely curious. I didn't have I knew what I was doing in my personal life and professional life, but I didn't have a motive. But when I look back and to say, but what put her on your mind that day? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Magic.
I don't have it. But gosh, I'm gonna cry. I'm not. Okay, let me see. I know. I haven't used it. It is. It is one of my greatest joys to be able to give back to people who've given so much to me. It is the coolest feeling. And I joke with her and Mark a lot about, at this point, I'm 40 years old. I've been coming to the house since I was 17.
Yeah.
I've been hanging out with you all as long as I've been alive, more than half of my life.
Yeah.
And to be able to give them anything back from all those times raiding your refrigerator, it feels like such a treat to me. It really is. I don't feel anything about it besides appreciation. Most of my life, I've seen my own life as performance driven.
Yeah.
You have to give to get. You have to do something for somebody else. You only are as good as the last thing you do for somebody. And I really struggled most of my life too, at my core, to believe that love can be unconditional. That's been a story I've really worked hard to try to dislodge. And it's taken me to fall really hard on my face for me to believe the love I'm receiving has nothing to do with something I've done to earn it. But because of that, the love I received, I am so eager to return and communicate my gratitude. And so for me to call her that day, I was genuinely curious. And so, and for her to allow me to help and to come alongside her and Mark as they've pursued different things for themselves creatively, it feels like a reward for me. Like, oh man, that's so cool. I finally am in a space, whether it be either skill set, mindset, maturity, whatever, to be able to return a small portion of my appreciation to these human beings who have, 23 years of generosity and having people in and out of their home, it really feels special. So I think for me, I think so. Once she said she had a dream, then I was like, I felt like a dog on a bone. I was like, we're going to do this,
Yes.
whether you like it or not. You know,
Agreed.
I will not let up
Yes.
until we do something you want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's once she told me that, I think that's when I was probably lights out.
Yeah. It was like,
I was
done.
I was like, here's your game plan. Here's how we're gonna do it.
All in.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's so moving and so touching, you guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to bring through soul signs, but there was something about what you just shared that I want to park it for a moment with this aspect of ancient wisdom. I know it's related to Jewish mysticism. I'm not sure. So anybody watching who does know, feel welcome to educate and inform us more clearly on the origins. Yes, in the comments. In the comments, yes. But that the beginning of the world started with the light. And it needed to fill something in order for there to be yin and yang, to be light and dark. So the light shone, and then the moment the world was created, everything as we know it, the Big Bang, humanity, consciousness, whatever you want to think of as being and existing, everything changed and became the moment that the vessel gave back, gave the light back. So your instinct and intuition to return to the community container of some love and energy that you received as a young boy, a young man, to give back to those who held space for you by the gift of holding space is tremendous. It is a new Big Bang in the energy field of love. And I feel what it's also birthing in essence is a sense of honoring our elders. And Michelle, you're not truly an elder yet.
I'm a grandma.
This gorgeous, beautiful goddess sitting here. But it's that energy of as we proceed through life, and you've been every form of mother, which is so magical that you're also a grandmother now. So you're looking at the world for not just your children's generation, but the next one.
Right.
And even beyond that. So to have this young man see with such vision into the future and into that reciprocal space that can only happen when you're so perceptive and sensitive and aware, that is truly magic. So both of your soul signs are in the mythical realm. And I'm just for clarity, I'm not reading their soul sign couplets, which is what I read for every new client or person I work with. We're reading a bit of a slightly removed soul sign for each of you, which is related specifically to this relationship. Okay. And so really your story, and I think our watchers, listeners will agree, there is some magical dynamic here. And so we're tuning into what I'm calling a soulmate relationship between you two. And this is a soul son and a soul mom. And the field that you both work in that co-creative cooperative space is a mythical space. So in soul signs, I see like 7 different realms, all the different signs, animals, plants, whatever you want to say, all live within seven different strata of like our known existence. Fossils, dinosaur bones, those are in the very earth primordial space, all the way up to the ethers. So the mythicals kind of work in the field of the sky and the ethers. They kind of work in the in-between space. So the signs that live there are in our imagination, in our dreams, in our what could be, in our what could be space. And I feel that both of you speak that language to each other. Does that resonate? Maybe you could talk a little, Michelle, about what you saw in BJ in that moment where he knew community and wanted to experience community as a 17-year-old coming into your kitchen. What did you see? What spark was there?
He was just so open hearted, and fun and cute and just jovial, which is, I love that energy, and I'm that same way. And we would joke around, and he was just, I don't know, just always upbeat and lighthearted, and I know he had a lot going on, and his wonderful mom, who's single mom. I mean, she's an amazing woman too, and to raise such a great young man. His brother is also a wonderful young man too. So to raise such great young man, I don't know. BJ's energy just has always been, he's always laughing, always joking. In his laugh, I love his laugh. I just think that really I was drawn to it immediately. He was
Yes.
so open, just open. So there you are.
Yeah, just there was something in his light that resonated with you. And
he's open to me.
yeah,
He's open to my openness.
It's truthfully,
'cause not
yeah.
everybody is. I might can be a little too much for some people. Like whoa. But it
I don't
wasn't.
feel that way.
I don't either.
I've never felt that way. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
a little bit like a lock and a key. It was just like,
Yeah.
you guys got each
Yeah.
other. That makes
It
total
seemed
sense.
it seemed to be it. Yeah.
Yeah, that really makes sense. So I will first share what BJ's sun soul sign is, which is the baby, because you're, the child in this dynamic, unicorn. So the baby unicorn is raised on dreams. They're raised on dreams. They live in that world. They feel your dreams. They sense who you are. And that horn, which is still like for a baby, it's still forming. I see your potential. I see what you can do when you put your heart and your talent and your gifts in action. And so when you were at an age of awareness of that gift for your mom, that thing is going wherever you point it. So if it landed on Michelle, you couldn't unsee the potentialities. Thank you.
The community tissue.
Oh my. So when you saw those potentialities, you laser focus. I basically bring through and understand unicorn as like, it has a laser finder that just got calcified. It was and it was so right on, so spot on. Bone in soul signs world and horns is instinct manifest. You know, and you see what you know, and you know what you see. There's no wishy-washy. This is truth, truth bomb, truth. Okay, eye to eye. So when you saw her, and you knew what, and also the unicorn is connected to horse, which is deep service, rider, like carrying a rider to the end of the earth, that loyalty, never going to, deviate from the path. Once you find a commitment, you go, and it is in your nature that you never give up. And you just ride and ride and ride. So to say like that you believe in other people's dreams is an understatement for a unicorn, because it's beyond. It's like, and the mythicals are truly here to get us to reimagine and dream again. Because without that, we just get back to mundane. Everything's limited. And all the mythicals, and especially unicorn, is like, you all don't even know what's on the other side of like the purple mountains. It's like it goes to rainbow mountains, and it goes, and you're trying to get us to aim higher to see what else is there. And with someone with so much talent and just that heart of gold, I can just see how you're young, aspiring, kind of like at that time, probably ambitious, like, and you were trying to grow your business, and you're like, I can make all these, I'm going to make all these, all these dreams are worth it. I'm going for it. I'm committed. So it has that like quality to it, that you were just so behind her, to the point of where we are sitting today is a manifestation of your knowingness that Michelle has this incredible talent, brings so many people together. This kitchen table is the most magical freaking kitchen table that I've ever sat at. And it's true. Like, it has been, just an incredible, magical space that she creates. So before I keep going, you guys each want to share a little bit about that imagery and just maybe how it's hitting you or what?
I can just say that it's true. Yeah, that's true. And I would say, you started to make it about something much bigger than our dynamic, and I would say that's true. I think dreams have been a big part of my life, my whole life. My dreams of others, and I definitely view them as sacred and unto themselves.
Yes. Only a mythical says that.
And so And so I definitely can see, and I could definitely see how that energy shifted in that story when she told me what she wanted.
Yeah, it was like
I felt, yeah, I felt,
your
yeah,
on switch.
I definitely felt different. Because then it was, yeah, I definitely felt the difference. Because it went from, wouldn't it be cool? Well, let me tell me what you're thinking. And then once she told me just about the redefining of her identity as a mom, as Johnny, the youngest, was becoming an adult, that it was like, well, you've already helped all of us. So like the only thing to do is to help you do your dream. Like I didn't feel like any, you know, I mean, I'm saying this with love. I'm not doing anything for money. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly. He's made $0 for
you
me.
know, I'm not doing
Even food.
yeah, I'm not doing anything for money. You know,
Yeah.
So far.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and by the way, I'm not. I mean, you know, and I'm okay with how it turns out, regardless. You know, but I can totally see that, and I can see that's true about my life. If anything, I feel like there have been times where earlier in my journey, I wanted to help everybody with their dreams, and I often felt either unappreciated or in hindsight, I jumped the gun and got ahead of the invitation.
Sure.
And mom invited me, and that felt validating in its own right too. You know, to say, okay, not only do you see me, but I think you can help me. Yeah. And so that felt very validating. But yeah, I totally see that, and that's a big part of my identity. Honestly, is what does it mean to take what is within us and make something out of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that.
No, that is unicorn wisdom. Like, phew. Well, how about Michelle shared this? So you shared a little about when you first met BJ as a youth, but knowing now his soul sign energy as this soul son, where are you seeing the unicorn from your point of view in him now, or even kind of at that transition point where he approached you with that unicorn knowing?
Yeah, well, I mean, literally when we sat down and I told him, it was like he just spewed everything that I needed to do. Step 1, step 2, then this turns into this. It was like he didn't even have to think. It just. And
knowing me, I probably didn't pause to talk.
Oh no, you didn't.
I didn't
No,
breathe.
You didn't breathe. And I was like, and everything he said sounded amazing. It made sense. I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. But when I got home, I couldn't tell Mark anything. I was like, this thing about like maybe then we could maybe I could then write a book, and then from the book then maybe I don't know, just so much stuff. You need to talk to BJ. That's usually what I would do.
Luckily, we have a relationship with Mark and say, translate everything you just said so
now
I can
we just
understand
record
it.
BJ.
What are we
can go back
about?
and I can take notes. This is a perfect example. We were in Florida. Our family was in Florida, and BJ and I were talking
a week ago,
2 weeks ago, and we were talking about this Mama's Lullaby Mother's Day show we're going to be doing, and a fundraiser. And he was asking, I said, what do we need to? I need to be prepared. What do I want to know? What do I need to think about and know? And in BJ fashion. I'm trying to text on my phone notes and I can't. I just can't. You've seen me at the computer. I just am really bad at it. And he's like, Mom, I'm recording this. You don't need to take any notes. I'm like, hang on, BJ. Because I'm also trying to, I'm like thinking about his time. I don't want to waste his time. And I'm just like all nervous. And he's like, I'm recording this whole thing. You could just go back and listen. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, but that's how it always is. He has so many great ideas and they all make sense. And I can never remember any. I can remember maybe one of them, but there's so many. And so, yes, laser focus. He gets it. He understands it and he can articulate it. Which is why when I was going to do this podcast, I said, can you please do the podcast with me? Because I need you. And he just said, yes. I mean, just no thoughts. He's taking his time. He's away from his kids and his wife. And he does this with me. And, and it's just, I feel so grateful. I hope you know that. I hope you know how grateful I feel because I'll never be able to express it, but I mean, I hope one day you'll be able to monetarily, be paid. But but anyway, I just love you so much, and I trust you. I trust you. I trust that gorgeous mind of yours because I see that you understand it, and I feel like having those people at the helm with you or next to you, like we can't lose. We can't lose.
Absolutely. So that is, thank you. Your story. I mean, we have run out of Kleenex.
Then we're over there.
We'll need to put the box like front and center next time. But thank you. That is it's just so astounding, the depth and sweetness of your bond. So Michelle, I feel like it's time to share your soul sign.
Yes.
I'm curious.
As a soul mom for BJ. And I know we've illustrated some really beautiful aspects of this particular sign, the unicorn, but you are also a unicorn mom
Really?
too.
Interesting.
So that's why you both really magnetize, because there is a commonality in your love language in a way, as a parent and a son, and reciprocating together. Is that even though we have BJ's version of it could be a little bit more masculine energy. We were kind of joking about the laser finder, but you know what? I've been part of your tractor beam of generosity and potential seeing. Kirem, you could do that. You could do that. I know you can. I can see it.
Yeah.
You said to me about my dreams, or what I am sort of wondering, could I do that? And you do not let anybody off the hook either. Do you? Right?
That's true. That's true.
So in our previous podcast, we had kind of talked about your physical children. And one aspect came up where I think maybe, BJ, you asked like, well, what about your own kids? Are they receptive to your mothering? And the beautiful thing is we all come together as families for different reasons, and we all magnetize for certain aspects, but some others, which we think might be obvious, may be unused or underutilized. But the fact that you two had this magnet of connection over the perfect sort of mom and son, in the spirit of, I can mentor you. And then when you're ready to fly, you're gonna go off and do your thing. But then the beauty of that was to come home and then do the same return to your mom, and that spirit of community. This is like really quantum level love, really like beyond the planet kind of earth bound love. It's soul love, it's spirit. It is your spirit nurturing and caring for one another. So for Michelle, I want to evoke other aspects of the unicorn, because she does embody them. And the unicorn has a performer quality. When I see them, they definitely need to be on a show or in the spotlight. They need to perform. And there is a performer inherent in all of them. And what can sometimes hinder them in their progress is because mythicals have this one Achilles heel, this one thing that catches them, which is belief, self-belief. They believe in all the dreams for everyone else, and they see them so strong. They know the path ahead, but sometimes they are the ones who struggle with believing if they can do it.
It's very true.
I resonate with that.
They dream build for everyone, but they're the ones who are like, I need that brick. Shoot, can I build it? You know what I mean? It's like we have these external aspects of strength, and then internally we have sometimes a deficiency, like with the ability to be that strength external. So to have this incredible co-creative energy of support, mutual support and love, is like he wasn't going to let you off the hook. He was going to come back in and say, I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing another unicorn. You didn't know it then, but you knew that you were seeing somebody with such talent, as you so beautifully reflected about her gifts in singing and performing and that talent. And so you knew she needed to be on in some way, and that you could make that happen, and in a way that was very instinctual for you at that point. And you were like, I've kind of always wanted to do this, but you knew you had that kindred spirit in your soul son to say, oh, I'm not letting this go. I'm going to absolutely support you. So I feel you were about to say some more to her unicorn aspect too. And I'd love for you to share what you...
There's a lot I could say. What's the coolest part about, I just resonate with a lot of what she just said. I don't know how you feel about that one, but
100%.
I felt that in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think what resonated the most with me is, a couple things. First thing was, that's what she did for me since I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
I told her, like, you made, her and Mark made space for us to come to their home 2 times a week for at least 3 years, and for us to play music that probably sounded terrible,
I'm sure.
and hear us over and over and over again work through things, bang loudly past certain times at night. And I'm like, well, what could that be besides a unicorn making space for people to develop? Right. And so I totally see that. I totally see that for what she did. And she did it in the music realm with so much more confidence because her and Mark know how to develop musicians.
Yeah.
Right. So they were also in the wheelhouse of, we know exactly the environment these kids need. They've got to be able to come in here and sound terrible and be loud and do it often. And we almost kind of got put into even when Mark would kind of come in, he would listen, pause, not correct us, but then he might give us a sentence and like walk out the room, right? He was like coaching and then leaving and then not saying anything, and and we also got to get a front row seat to his, like, their professionalism and how they approach the craft and diligence, and it's like, so I could totally see how, that was definitely you giving that to us, which I can totally see how at a subconscious level, for me, how that would have manifested itself for me, knowing and being prepared to use my gifts in a different way for her, which is really cool. But I also resonate with both of us when it comes to self-belief, and what that looks like, to see us be builders of others. Because one of the other parts of the unicorn, at least I'm assuming, you can tell me because I'm learning right now, and that is the fact that neither one of us believe that the dream itself is the only thing that gets built. It's the person who also gets built on the way to the dream.
Wow.
And so she comes to me, she's like, BJ, I found this thing called Faster EFT. It's amazing. It's gonna change your life. And I'm like, okay, bring it on. It's always a, look what I just read, look what I just learned, look what I just found out about. You gotta meet Kirem, she's amazing.
Such a unicorn.
I don't want you to just be to achieve your dreams. I want to see you become the best version of yourself in the process.
Exactly.
And if these are the things you have to do to, and so there have been times when, so all of them for me, I can just totally see that part, but I can see us then saying, who's gonna do it for me? Who's gonna hold me to the fire and make sure I get where I wanna go when it's my job to help everybody else get where they wanna go?
Yeah.
And that can feel really lonely at times. And it's not because you don't think people love you, but you do feel like people are not as invested in you getting your outcome as you are helping them get theirs.
Yes. We're all on the same team together.
Yeah. And so versus being like, no, you're going to write the book. No, you're going to start the podcast. We're going to do it whether you're confident in your ability to communicate or not, whether technology freaks you out or not, we're going to get it done. Now, of course, for those, this entire thing is being produced by her amazing husband, right? Who likely knew the technology or had the people to call to produce the technology the whole time, right? But it's about enough belief to then say, will you help me produce this podcast? Because it's not Mark's job to lead this. It's her job to lead it. Because it's her dream.
Yes.
It's getting her to a space where she feels like she can ask him. Because the dream's real enough in her heart to say, I am worthy of the resources. My ideas worthy of the resources to ask this man for the help he's probably been willing to give for a long time. But it's not wanting to command that of others when you have to be the front man a bit, And so I really resonate with all of it, for sure. But that would explain a lot of the subconscious understanding.
Yes, right. The subconscious, the subtext, the energetic action. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I will say when you guys were rehearsing, that was like pure joy for us. Literally, I loved having them up in my house. I would prefer that all my kids and their friends are here. My kids have great friends because my kids are great people. So they attract great people. And so all their friends, like we literally would talk about, like, I didn't even notice. We'd be watching a movie down there. They'd be up there. I never even noticed. I mean, I could hear. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I did. Totally.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, Kirem, one of the questions I'm asking myself is,
Yeah.
what do we not know about our soul signs and relationship with one another that we could be tuned in more to strengthen our relationship as opposed to just get to enjoy its organic nature? Because if I'm honest, I don't know if I've ever put a lot of effort into intentionally making this stronger.
Wow.
And now I'm not saying
It needs to.
but I would like to know, like, hey, if you're in two unicorn relation with one another, if you wanted to be more intentional about strengthening it, it would look like what?
I love that. Okay. Can we hold that question just for a moment?
Sure.
Because I wanted to ask Michelle to bring one bit through
sure.
on unicorn, and I
Yeah.
promise
Oh,
we'll
no,
check
please.
in on
You're the
that.
boss. I love it.
Oh, I just feel it for continuity, and so we don't lose unicorn yet and shift gears.
Great.
For Michelle to speak on that moment in time as a mom, for our moms watching, because of the space you were holding for so many others and the gift of the unicorn in your belief in others and seeing the potentials for all of those you've raised in all the various ways, where a mom who, any mom could be dealing with her own unicorn phase, if we're honest, right? Because they've spent so much time nurturing everyone else, that where you were at that moment in 2014, when you guys were, or I think that's right, first starting to talk about these ideas, what, going back in time now, touching into your unicorn since then, like, what advice might you give to a mom about rekindling her dreams if she didn't have a BJ in her life?
Wow.
Sheesh.
Whew, that's a tough one, because I'm not sure I was even thinking in those terms. So I guess what I'd say to a mom is to take some time to be alone and ask yourself, what do you love? What are you passionate about? If you even know, because sometimes you don't even, you paid so little attention to your own wants and needs as a mom sometimes that you just don't even know anymore. But I think if you give yourself time to go, you know what, when I think of this, like, oh, I love this. Yeah. Maybe, just give yourself a little bit of time to find out what it is. Like mine was obvious. I'm a singer. I've always been a singer. So that was obvious for me, but not everybody has their obvious
Totally
gifts, right? Or passions.
right.
So, maybe you don't even know you have it yet. Maybe you just give yourself that space to let it come to you.
Yes.
Come, yeah, I think it's more like giving yourself time alone, which is hard when you have little ones. But that's where you ask for community, for help. Like, it's okay to ask your friends or your family or somebody. I just need like an hour. Can I have like an hour to go? I never even thought to do that for myself, honestly. And so if you're a new mom or you've been a mom for a long time and you never even think to give yourself an hour, to sit quietly or to go outside or get away, I would say that, is find some space and create some space around yourself to give yourself some time to get in that place of listening and asking the question. Questions are very powerful.
Absolutely.
Asking a question and the type of question that we ask, right? So what makes my heart soar? What makes me feel so happy? Wow. Something like that.
Great question. Keep going.
that might give you some starters,
For sure. Those are deep, powerful questions when you feel that. So thank you. And I would love to answer BJ's question about a guiding sign. Does that feel right for you guys? So I'd be happy to tune in, because I don't know what your guiding sign is for further strengthening this incredible bond, but I'd be happy to tune in on it for you.
Sure.
If that sounds good. And then we'll just roll with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So just give me a moment. Okay. Okay. So it's a fish. And I just have to laugh because Spirit has such a sense of humor. So I'm already getting and sensing you are doing amazing. So, this is a very fine tuning knob aspect versus a, macro turning knob that we have to tune in with. And so if anything, to guide you further, it's to follow a different form of the unicorn, which is the unicorn fish. Okay. which is it's a fish in the tropics, and it has kind of a cool similar thing here, but you're changing elements. So you're going from the air and the sort of imaginal into a very deep ocean container, which is what I'm sensing from it is you're already doing your strengthening exercise by doing this co-creative energy. Emotional creative energy is the water. So doing this podcast is actually you strengthening your bond, because you're both doing something powerful by honoring that shift into a creative space that's actually kind of a bit more of close, strengthening your bond emotionally by being literally kind of physically together and doing these things. Unicorns and mythicals, they zoom. They just like, they get into a mode together and they can just fly. Like when you guys get together and you do these podcasts, there's no script. There's a very keen sensitivity and awareness of each other, almost telepathic, that you have down that might not even be verbal. It's just like you can kind of beam energy together and you'll pick each other up, and it's so fun. It's like a swirling. It's playing in fantasy land that we have, no physical limitations. So your creative energies swirl like that. So when you are together, you're exercising that. And then you're creating something emotional and connective and consciousness raising, like this podcast, to your audience. So I would take the wisdom of that as you're on the right track. You don't need to go into a whole nother, sign or something. Like you're staying pretty level with that unicorn energy, but just, continuing with this co-creative energy. Anything that you get inspired to do together or support each other mutually throughout your lives is going to be blessed by that, continual reciprocal energy for each other. The other aspect of the unicorn fish is it is a totem. Like it's a powerful symbol in other cultures. And my recollection, and if my mom ends up watching this, she might have to make a comment on the Palauan traditions. But I've also observed it in soul science to be a storyteller. So when you two get together on these podcasts and you begin to evoke storytelling and stories from the people who come on, you're doing something powerful with your unique bond together. Or if there's some way to further honor each other's stories, help each other materialize those dreams into your life stories, as only unicorns can do, you are on the right path. Like you are doing, the best by each other, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? I'm just like, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
My questions are especially between questions for the audience and questions for myself. And so I'm trying to get myself together. For those who are trying to maybe even discern relationships in their orbit that can be meaningful to them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if at 17 you're like, these are gonna be the best. And then she's like, will he stop eating my food?
No, that was Mark, not me.
Honestly, Mark said, he ate my sandwich. I'm wondering, for those who are trying to discern that in their own world of the constellation of relationships that can serve them, is there something that they can be just paying attention to or being mindful of that can assist them, or is it more of a no, it's going to happen organically? I think regardless, we want to say, what if I want to curate my own community a little bit more wisely in this next season? That's my final question for you.
Yeah, so sorry, say that.
So for those who are trying to create their own constellation of meaningful relationships.
In community.
Yeah.
How would they go about doing that? Oh my gosh, that feels more like a question for you all, honestly, because you've done such a beautiful job of connecting generations.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe
Mom, you
answer.
are kind of the ultimate community builder.
Yeah.
Touche, Grant.
well, I got put on the hot seat because I'm like, you guys are the experts on that, but I would be happy to answer in a minute, something that comes to me. But go on, Michelle, you share.
You really are.
No, I think for me, I will say this. Okay, that saying, "Fake it till you make it," right? I love that saying, and I hate that saying. When I was probably early 20s, I was at a party, and I didn't know anybody there, and I saw this woman come in, and she didn't know anybody there, but her, the way she was not ashamed, but she wasn't embarrassed to go talk to people. She didn't feel like she was feeling self-conscious. She just like looked at people and so real and genuine. And I went, because I was feeling like weird and like embarrassed or not, it's not embarrassment. What's the word I'm trying to say? Like self-conscious and uncomfortable. And I thought, I want to be like that. I want to be able to go up to a perfect stranger with my heart earnestly and go, hi, I'm Michelle. What's your name? Not with anything behind it. Just lead with that. Because I felt like that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Become authentic like that. And so I just started pretending that I felt that way. And I started doing it as I was it was uncomfortable at first. So I think it is, if you're not the type of person who makes friends easily, and there's a lot of people like that. Not everybody can just like gather a bunch of people and say, I want you to meet them and I want you to do that. But you just start as acting as if there's a person that you really like, you just start imitating them. You imitate the behaviors that you love about them. And pretty soon you start to become that, I remember even being like 7 and like feeling embarrassed to ask people how they were. Yeah, like, hi, how are you? And I knew you were supposed to say that because I heard everybody say that. And I would say, hi, how are you? But I felt so embarrassed inside. But the more I did it, the more it became second nature. So I think it's just like, if you want to create a community, you find someone who you think is really comfortable and that you like, that you admire, and you just kind of copy them in a sense. And then you do it enough, it becomes part of who you are.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so easy when you really think about it and you break it down in such a beautiful way. It's not you mirror. You like a mirror is the
mirror.
Yeah.
And pretend you are, and pretty soon it becomes real.
I'm cool with that.
Good or bad.
So cool.
Good or bad.
Yeah, I feel like, as these, as healers are expanding in their gifts and offering new tools that are just so varied and different, like soul science, for example, it's a resource. It's here. It's here as a mirror, quite honestly, to reflect the beauty that is. that you both have always shared, but what a special thing to be able to articulate it a bit more and love and honor the relationships we have and make those even sweeter and stronger.
Right.
I was kind of feeling from the unicorn fish in the water is to continue what we're sort of touching on today and allow your emotions to flow, like to be verbalized. This is it's a precious thing that you both have together, and the strengthening of it models and like makes it firm in our world. It anchors it in our world. And we need that because just like you said, if I see something I like, I want to emulate it. And then how much more magical could our world be if more BJ's and Michelle dynamics were repeated throughout, the down the street, into town, absolutely. And across the sea to sea,
Yeah.
So
that's what I hope to bring with these podcasts. I hope to bring people like Kirem and like BJ to share with you. You may not ever meet any of us in person, but if something we say clicks something for you, then we've won, right? And you can share that with somebody else.
And maybe the sacrifice of you feeding some child who just keep coming over your house, hang out with your children. Maybe it will pay off in the end, Like maybe all that food that you didn't plan on paying for is going to return back to you in a way you'll look back and say, that sacrifice was worth it.
Totally worth it.
But I want to thank you all for being here and listening to this episode of Mom with the Lullaby. And if you, first of all, enjoyed this, first of all, I'm honored that you would even stick around this long to hear let's talk about each other. But more importantly, we want to introduce people like Kirem, people who can come alongside you and share insights and wisdom and tools and resources that can assist you on your journey. We recognize that if we say every journey is unique, then sometimes every journey might have its own level of complexity as well. And there might be strange relationships in your life. There might be estrangements you're navigating. There might be all kinds of things you're working through. And those things, there's a resource, there's a person, but more importantly, right now, there's a place and people who want to come alongside you, put their arms around you and say, hey, we see you, we know the journey you're on, and we are here for you.
That's right.
And if you want to get plugged into this, first of all, we would love you to subscribe to this podcast wherever you are watching or listening. And then we would love you to support it by joining the community, by going to mamaslullaby.com, joining our email list where we can actually stay in contact with you and open up a two-way conversation that doesn't depend on digital media platforms. Keep us connected. And then the second thing would be for you to support us and help us further this work by listening and buying the amazing album. This is an album that she's written and created with you in mind,
Yeah, so
with the world's first collection of lullabies exclusively for mothers. But there's also fantastic merch like this beautiful mug, and there are other things that we can do. But more importantly, we want to make sure this is the beginning of a relationship as you journey through motherhood. And so we want to be a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And if you need Kirem, you can go to peachandcrane.com.
.com.
All right. See you next time on the next episode of Mama's Lullaby.
Bless you. Evangeline, go to sleep. Rest your eyes till tomorrow. Evangeline, the angels sing. Trust their sweet voice and follow. Eventually, all things come to an end, just to begin again. Evangeline, sleep tight, sweet dreams, good night. Sleep tight.